Hello divas, dudes, and dolls, I'm Caricature, and welcome to my revamped, retooled, and reinvigorated review show. Just in time for RuPaul's Drag Race Season 16, Very Slay. Unlike my creepy catwalk commentary, my review series for the Boulet Brothers Dragula Season 5, where I go over every little bit of the episode, give my full feedback, and often get very upset about some production weirdness, compared to doing the side eyes, the ranting, the raving, the rampant complaining, I decided to make this show a little more lighthearted and a little more focused on what I really enjoy most about these drag television competitions, and that's the looks. Diva, if there is one thing, first and foremost, I am a fashion girl. While my creepy catwalk commentary will continue with the format as is, after that, we're gonna close the book on creepy catwalk commentary, and we're gonna be opening the book to a new chapter for Very Slay. I know, so original for a look review show for a drag competition to exist on YouTube, hosted by a drag queen who's never been on the TV show. But unlike some Drag Race reviewers out there, I've actually hit a stage. So I do think I know a little bit of what I'm talking about here to some degree. Ultimately, I'm coming at this from the perspective of an artist and an illustrator who designs costumes and often designs costumes for drag. So here's what I'm looking for as we're going into this season. Fun concepts, a point of view, silhouettes. I want to get to know who these people are aesthetically, first and foremost through this show. So let me break down for y'all how Very Slay is going to work. If I find a look is just fine, middle of the road, not my favorite but not awful, it's simply okay. If I really enjoy a look and absolutely love it and think it's fantastic, then it's a slay. And if I'm really not feeling it at all, dare I say it's bad, then give it up for my horse girlies out there, because we're gonna be giving it a big ol' nay. So here we are, season 16, we are off to a wonderful start this episode. I thought it was very fun and I really enjoyed it a lot. Like the last few years, this has a split season premiere. So luckily for me, gives me some time to kind of adjust to the process of editing all of this, because there are realistically 21 looks I have to talk about this episode. We not only have the entrances and the talent show looks, we also have a runway that we have to go over that included a reveal. So we've got to talk about all that too. So because there's a lot to talk about in this episode, I'm going to talk about them queen by queen in order of appearance in the workroom to save on time and my own sanity when I go to edit this. We're just going to talk about them all collectively at once, and I'll just cycle through the photos on screen as we talk about each person. Do we like the confessional room? And just in case anyone scrolling through happens to see a clip and doesn't know who I am or what I do, here's my handle. Find me and follow me, why don't you? Just between you and me, there's no way in hell I'm ever applying to be on any of these drag reality TV shows I talk about. That's why I talk about them. Also, kind of bear with me if I'm looking kind of off to this side when I'm talking for looks instead of this side. I am kind of in the process of reorganizing my setup with my monitors and my desks and getting that all restructured. Once that's done, the growing pains shouldn't feel as weird, but until then, we're just gonna deal with it. Sound good? Okay, our first queen that we're gonna be talking about in this review for the season, from Kansas City, Missouri, Q. So I've heard of her. I'm not super familiar with her work, but I do know she is a bit of a fashion icon, which I love because you can tell, like, the stuff she has is so immaculately well made and is so finished. So let's get into this entrance look. For me, the immediate thing I love about this is the silhouette and all of the texture play. The color palette is really nice. I'm not the biggest fan of green, but all of these greens work really well together. The thing that I love most about this is she has that little frog purse. I've been kind of in a frog era. I do love our little froggy friend. It didn't necessarily go with the look conceptually, but color palette wise, it makes sense. So I love it. I love her makeup too. There's this quality in her facial expressions and in her makeup and the way she paints that she does kind of have this like older Hollywood style to her that I really, really love. She kind of has this like Lucille Ball zaniness. I caught that right away, and that was my first thought. Let's get into her talent show look now, shall we? This is the kind of cross section I love in drag, where it's like, it's glamorous, it's gorgeous, it's finished and well detailed, but it's also just stupid at the same time. And that's like my favorite type of drag. The color choice isn't my favorite. I'm just not a big fan of this sort of like pastel yellow tone. I think it's very hard to pull off. With the style of this dress and with what the performance called for aesthetically to create the illusion, this works so well for me. This is just the right level of stupid. I don't know if Q can do the splits or not actually, but maybe for her this is the closest she's ever going to get to doing them. So if so, congratulations, she reinvented how to do a split on Drag Race. I think that's quite an accomplishment. But I thought this was cute. It had this kind of Shirley Temple vibe that I thought was very silly. It, again, kind of goes into that like older Hollywood 40s, 50s. She does that with like a modern spin. Like just based off of her looks, I think she's somebody who isn't going to be afraid to reference or not reference. Folks over here know I love a visual reference. I love a motif. I love a period piece. I love something that is a call to pop culture. This made me giggle immensely and I enjoyed it a lot. Now, let's get into this runway look. Off the top, this was the best runway this week to me. This look reminded me so much of Bob Mackey's work for the Carol Burnett show. Like the level of exuberance, the costumes, the height of the spikes and the feathers, the headpiece, the shapes were very similar, reminiscent of that to me. And then what really took me to that Bob Mackie place was when she opened the cape and revealed the underneath design. It reminded me of Bob Mackie, but also the bug ball dress from Thumbelina, which is a dress I've always wanted to have made or learn how to make myself, but realistically have made for me. It had very much that energy. I love everything about this. And it's hard to wear a black look on the runway that successfully. Like black is a very hard color to wear on stage unless you've got that right level of sparkle to it or a sheen if it's like a leather or something, just because it gets swallowed up really fast. At first I thought this was gonna be one of those moments where she was just gonna basically be a blob, but it didn't have that problem. Overall, this was an incredible first week for Q, and for all three of her looks this week, she's getting slays across the board, y'all. 3 big ol' slays. Top to bottom. All right, next up is Tsunami Muse, who I've followed for a very long time. The mug is incredible. She's just too pretty, and I could look at her all day long. But that's a face I would just want to study. Like, I would just want to get up in there and figure out where every little line goes, where the shapes are all at, like every little angle. She just looks like she would be fun to draw. Maybe I will. And she also seems like she'd be a good time. So I would be down to Kiki and just have like a little jibber jabber with her. Now, let's get into these looks. With this entrance look, I love this from the waist up. This corset bodice with the puffy sleeves and the cape. That color looks gorgeous on her, first of all. I love a dramatic sleeve, so she's got me hooked, the line, and sinker there. I get that the pants are to kind of match the bottom part of the sleeve here with the fabric. I just don't think that this particular cut on the pant is all that flattering. I think the silhouette makes sense for this. It's very streamlined and it lets the sleeves really be the focus, which I think is a smart choice. I love the hair in this. It's just a really pretty curl pattern, a really pretty style in general on her face. I feel like this wig is expensive. It just looks like it flows really naturally. I'm sure it's human, but it's gorgeous. I love it a lot. I don't know if it would have worked better with a different color fabric, if it had also been a blue for the pants and the bottom part of the sleeve. But I think my biggest problem is the fit on the pant. They're a little too loose. I think if it had been just a smidge tighter and a little more flax to her body, it would have been a little more successful. Her talent show outfit, I thought the hair was really pretty on her again. And this is something that I would wear, but I don't know if I would wear it to perform. This is more of like what I would use as a walking around look. This is cute. I thought it was flattering on her, but I just don't think it was really like a great performance outfit. And with the style of performance that she did, it ultimately kind of led to an overall small presentation when she could have had something that was bigger energy consistently throughout. All right, let's get into this runway look, however. This first look, this coat, the braided pony with the bang, the hair alone on this, I love. This is so up my alley aesthetically. This is the type of stuff I like to wear. I love this coat. Like, this coat looks so cute. And the first outfit reveal under it, this dress with the feathers on the skirt that create that little extra shape. Love that too. I didn't really like the reveal after it, where it was kind of more of like the boudoir take on things. Overall, she walked out and I went, ooh! Tsunami, if by some chance you happen to be watching this review and you want to help a doll upgrade her wardrobe a little bit, I think we'd be a similar size. We're both tall, we're both dainty women, but this look is so up my alley. Tsunami, if you ever decide you want to part with this coat, I would gladly take it off your hands. I'm just saying. So overall for me, her first look was okay. Her talent show look was okay, but this third look, this runway look, the first parts of it were a slay. Overall, her package this episode is just gonna be just a teeny little slay. Because it wasn't anything over the top, but like she gets just a little one. But I'm excited to see what else she's gonna bring. I think she's gonna have some very fun looks that are gonna be very aesthetically up my alley. I don't think this is gonna be the last time I'm gonna be like wanting to raid her closet. Alrighty, next up we have a mandatory meeting. Honestly, she should just get a slay for the name alone. I mean, obviously I'm gonna have to love a pun name. I have one myself. I love her personality. I love her sense of humor. Gee Willikers, I did not like a single thing this girl wore this episode. It was just, it was not it for me, divas. There were parts I liked of all of them, but the full package I just wasn't crazy about. I love the fabric of her entrance look, and I will say, I love her gloves. In the wide, it does not look like it's a separate glove. It looks like it is all one piece of the jacket. There's a lot of smart choices here with her accessories too, like the little accent colors all being consistent across everything. The nails, the shoe, the lapel, the buttons all being that neon green. I love that. I love that attention to detail for little tiny things like that. I understand going simpler because you never know what they're gonna throw at you and you don't wanna like ruin an expensive outfit if they do something crazy. So let's get into this talent show outfit. I didn't like this at all. I just didn't like it at all. I'm sorry. She's a great performer and I can't wait to see her lip sync. The color palette is fine, but I just didn't like it's a bodysuit. There's only so much you can do with a bodysuit, you know? Cat eye breast cups, I didn't think were all that successful. And I just thought there were some weird choices with like the accents on the hip. I get that they're there for like movement when she's dancing. That's effective. I don't know. I just didn't like it. And I think the comment that Michelle makes about her makeup is entirely accurate because you can tell she doesn't know how to paint for the face that she has. It's all very scrunched and like up, so she gets the elevation, but she needs the angle and she needs the width. Because I think she's got the bone structure, she could pull off a big paint. Like she does the elements of a big paint, but not the actual practice of a big paint. Let's get into this runway look, because girl, there were some choices made. I think conceptually, this is very fun. The Lee Bowery moment, the skin suit that reveals into this purple three-titted alien, that's fun. The first outfit, I think it's fun. It does very much read as the reference. It does read very Club Kid, very Lee Bowery. It's the second look underneath that I really have the problem with. The purple that she uses for her makeup is not the same purple that is in this outfit. So I don't think it reads as successfully as it could. She just looks like a grape. She is fruity, but that does not mean she needs to come to the runway dressed as one from the neck up. I like the fabric choice of the purple for like this sort of like galaxy moment. I think it reads really well on stage. What I really don't like is the fabric choice for the garter tight situation and also the gloves. I get why they're there for the first look, so that way it reads more as like human skin. But then why did you paint yourself purple, but then kept the kind of like pseudo skin tone arms and legs? It was an odd choice. I will give her some credit because I am of the camp that when you do a reveal, the look you end in should be more interesting to look at than the first one. This is certainly more interesting to look at, but I don't know if it's in a good way. Amanda's first look, I'd say is okay. Her talent show look is a nay for me. And unfortunately, I also have to say this is a nay. This is a big, big nay for this runway. So overall, she's getting her first nay of the season. She's certainly had a lot of growth since the time of filming of this, because if you see the stuff she's wearing for press week now and the stuff she's wearing in general lately, it's like night and day. Okay, next up is Morphine Love Dion, which I have to say she truly is Miss Magiana Dupree, because holy moly, the makeup on this girl. She's got a face that I think would be fun to try to do sometime, just to learn some new techniques. She's got a mug that I think is going to be as impactful on the series down the road as what Raven's was. I think we're going to be seeing people really trying to emulate her specific style of makeup for years to come, myself included, because I think her makeup just looks fun to try. So I think maybe next week we'll give it a go. What do we all think about that? Regarding her looks, her entrance look, I believe is a Kali Uchis reference. Slay, love that. I thought this was a really flattering outfit on her. It's simple, but it's got just enough of a dramatic flair with the ruffles that it's a cute walking around look. I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to an entrance look. I think you just need to come in, show who you are, but I don't think you necessarily need to be super dramatic to have a successful entrance look. And this is exactly that style. You're saving your good stuff for the runways and the performances. Let's get into this performance outfit. This look that she had for this number that she opened the talent show with, all of the looks she had in the reveals of this, I thought were gorgeous. Red is such a gorgeous color on her. Like it's I think her color. I thought all of those looks were gorgeous. I thought they were all well made. The nude illusions, really red is nude. Like you couldn't really tell from a wide shot. So all really well made, all successful. Loved all of them. And I think realistically, out of everybody in the talent show, she had one of my favorite looks. Stunning, jaw-dropping, the glossy red lip, I'm always gonna be a sucker for. She's so pretty. She's so pretty, it's like a little unfair. Now, let's get into her runway look. I thought the way she started off with the towel and the towel dress that spun and kind of unspiraled and revealed into the swimsuit, very Miami Beach, was a cute idea. I do wish that it would have been something different than not a swimsuit. Like, I think it would have been really stunning if it would have been like something that just turned into a gown. But I think that would be kind of hard to engineer. It's fine, it's successful. The method of the reveal was the real winner out of this. I didn't expect it to be a spin that slowly kind of came unwound into the reveal. So I loved that. The performance aspect of the runway was really the shining moment of it for me. So going over all of Morphine's looks, I would say all three of these looks are a slay. Great week for her, and I'm excited to see what else she's got going on. Up next, we have Safira Cristal. From the jump, one of my favorites this season already. She had one of, if not my favorite promo looks. The hair was incredible. I loved the outfit. So getting into her looks this week, her entrance look, this royal sapphire blue moment. Oh, I love it. It's so gorgeous on her skin tone. I love a melanated queen wearing jewel tones. I think it's always going to work. It's always going to hit hard. And this blue on her, oh, it's delicious. I love the feathers. I love the shape of this. And I love the fact that and I know I just said I like when entrance looks are a little more like club walking around looks. But for me, if you're going to do a dramatic entrance look, this is how to do it. Because it's dramatic in terms of the shape up top, but in general, it's really not anything super crazy. It's basically a bodysuit and then boots. Work. I love the hair. I love this color, this kind of honey blonde moment. Really good entrance. And also, can I just say, her confessional look, also giving. Keeping the blue tone consistent through that too. Love branding. In my opinion, if you've got a color name, that should be kind of the focal point color of your confessional look. And she does that, and I love her for it. Getting into her talent show look, easily my favorite of the talent show looks by a long shot. This maroon color of this gown, oh, it's gorgeous on her. I think it's gorgeous in general, but it's gorgeous with this hair, like the shape of it is great. For me, this was the best of the talents. Like, this was the best performance. It was a great showcase of her skill set as an entertainer, but also her like comedic sense, which I think is a great way to open your journey on Drag Race, because you've proven you are a talented as hell individual, you're an accomplished artist, and on top of that, you're funny. And like, that's all the things that it takes to win this competition. If you're gonna be coming in real hard swinging with all of that right out the gate, you're going to cement yourself as a front runner from the beginning. So I think she's going to go really far, and I cannot wait to see her do it. I will say though, I hope some of her runways down the line were better, because I did not enjoy this runway. Outside of the first look, this blue gown, gorgeous color on her, really pretty silhouette. The second reveal look outfit underneath it, I don't even know what the hell it was, but I didn't like it. The kind of old Hollywood swimsuit style that she had at first, I thought was really pretty. I thought it was very classic. The colors all looked really gorgeous on her. That kind of eggplant purple with the blue with the ivory was a really pretty combination. I loved the sculpted hair, gorgeous. And then she did the titty reveal. And if there's one thing I can't stand, it's when the breastplate doesn't look natural. And that's her problem. And I think Michelle has a good point about this, where it looks like it's one size too small for her, because the breasts that are supposed to be here are here. So it doesn't look right because they're in the center of her chest and not like where they're supposed to be. They had their little moment in the lip sync, but I didn't really care for them that much. Her entrance look and her talent look, definite slays. However, her runway look, it's just okay. I think overall for this episode, this package, big slay. Next up, we have Mirage. Her entrance look, I really wasn't a fan of it because I'm not the biggest fan of Y2K aesthetics. It's very Claire's, which is cute. Like, even though I don't really like this aesthetic all that much myself personally, it's all well done and it all makes sense. And there's lots of good details in this that make it visually interesting, that make it different, and that make it elevated beyond just a tipping outfit. I will give you props on that. And just based on the way she moved in her entrance, you can tell she's a dancer, that she's a performer, she's a mover, a shaker, a candlestick maker, if you will. We really got to see her thrive in that performance aspect of her drag in her talent show. There were some moves she did I've never seen people do before that I was very here for. I thought the color palette of this outfit was great. It's just a dance costume to me, but this is the style of outfits that I would think of people performing in. I really love that she had the clear heel like she had in her entrance look and the performance. I went and looked to see if she had it in the runway look too. She does not, but it's a very cute shoe that she has in that runway. Getting into the runway, I actually really liked the silhouette where it was like this kind of inverted diagonal funnel with the feathers. It did have that very Vegas showgirl feel, and I have to say, there is a special place in my heart for blue and orange as a color combination because it was the color combination of the first drag outfit I ever wore. So I loved seeing that. I loved that that lining of this dress is the orange and that the blue is the main focus of the outfit. I just really appreciate when people know the type of skin tone temperature that they have, if that makes sense. Like, her skin tone is a very warm tone. So wearing something that is another warm tone as an accent against its complementary cool tone is a very good choice to me. And I see it. I see you out there, Mirage. I see you with your color theory. So, loved that. Loved the jewelry. Oh my goodness. These earrings, gorgeous. I'm not a huge fan of the breastplate stuff just because it's not my aesthetic, but her breastplate for me is what Saphira was trying to go for, and hers is way more successful. Overall, I would say she's another soft slay, solely based on personal aesthetic preferences. And finally, we have Dawn. I have to say, of all the entrance looks this episode, Dawn's might be my favorite with cues. I think just the proportions of everything is so sweet. It's so darling. And I also love her makeup. Her makeup looks like another one that would be really fun to try sometime, especially the lips. I love how she does her lips with the black fading into everything. She's got such a tiny little face, but she can take on such big makeup really well. And I think it's because she has this like doll-like proportion. Really allows her to transform herself into quite literally a cartoon character, which I love. I love the color palette. I love this orange hair. Wigs by Boba. Go commission Boba, you wig wearers out there. Mayhaps you'll be seeing some wigs by Boba here on the channel pretty soon. Getting into Dawn's performance outfit. Not my favorite, but I will say the reveals in this were really smart. Like, they were very well hidden. Just based off of what she starts with, I would have not been able to tell any of them were coming or where they were coming from. So that's great design. So very here for that. But I think it's a great showcase of her aesthetic and just kind of how kooky and zany she is. So very interested, very curious to see what she's gonna do next. Now, her runway look on the other hand, I'm kind of torn on it because I really like what it started with. I thought it was so cute and it was so odd, and I was very interested to see what was going to be underneath. And I don't really quite get why she was purple or where the purple came into play, especially if she's supposed to kind of be like this abominable snowman wife bride character. I just didn't really think that concept landed as successfully. It's very well done makeup. I loved the hair in general. I just didn't think it really fit the look. The outfit itself, it's fine. I preferred the before. I still do think it was a good showcase of her drag, her aesthetic, and kind of the world that she pulls from and the world that she lives in as a drag character and an artist. I'm very intrigued, so I'm very curious to see what she's going to be doing going forward. Her entrance look, definitely a slay. I would say for the innovation alone, it's a slay for the talent show. However, for me, her runway is just okay. For me, it's still a slay overall. I thought this was a really fantastic opener with a lot of really great looks that makes me incredibly excited to see what we're gonna get coming down the runway in weeks to come. Now, each and every week, there will be one slay of the day. Our first ever winner of that title has to be Q. I thought from top to bottom, every single thing she showed in this episode was a massive success and a great showcase of her work as a designer and her work just as a drag artist in general. So congratulations, Q. I know this means nothing. Now with Dragula, I designed a play along look for every runway. For this season, I'm going to be doing art of my slay of the day, which has to be, of course, Q's Reveal Yourself runway. Be sure to head over to my Instagram and follow me to see all that the second it drops. If you enjoyed the commentary and enjoyed my lovely little face, I would appreciate it if you would click that ever so darling little subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment, tell me your opinions. Who is your slay of the day? And do you think any of the 7 that we got introduced to tonight are going to take the crown? I'd love to hear it. If you're a nerdy little diva like myself, be sure to come hang out with Charavan over on my Twitch channel every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. We do mostly shiny hunting, sometimes some variety content, and just whatever I'm feeling as well on the weekends. Once these episodes are out on YouTube, it's fair game to talk about the episode on my channel. Ideally, these will be coming out on Mondays every single week. This next week, I've got a gig on Friday night, so I will be recording my opinion. It will depend on how good I look on Friday. If I come out of the gig still looking quite stunnalina, I will probably record some opinions when I get home that night. However, the problem will be I will only be going off of what I can see on social media, not off of anything else. So if I can't find clips, if I can't find videos, if I can't find anything, it might have to wait until Saturday. So next week's episode might be a little bit later, and then for the next 2 Dragula episodes, those will come out on Saturdays. We'll have the 2 play-alongs I'm behind on for the Haunted House Blacklight look and the Kaiju in my review of the reunion episode, which it's gonna be a doozy, I can already tell. Once Dragula has come to a close in a couple of weeks, the game plan for the time being will be that Mondays will be very slay, Drag Race Season 16. On Saturdays, we will have some form of gaming content. I'm looking to get back into finally getting through the rest of my Ghost Trick playthrough, but I will be having a Kid Icarus Uprising playthrough series that will be coming over here from Twitch. So once we start streaming that and I start editing all of that together, that will be kind of the Saturday content for a while. If there's any specific games that y'all are looking to see me play maybe, or you're interested in seeing me play, or have ideas and you want to pitch them, let me know. I would love to hear what you all want to see. I do have a Patreon account that I've had for years that I've just kept sitting with nothing going on in it, ready to relaunch whenever I would have something to relaunch for. So like, would y'all like me to relaunch that? Would you like me to put that out there? Is that something you would support me doing? Because I know we're still a very small community here. This is still a new project, but this does take a lot of my time. And I am a one-woman operation here doing everything. I haven't quite decided how I want to structure that yet. So if you've got ideas for that, I'm open to feedback. But if you want to throw some dollars my way, support the queen, support the diva, especially as I'm getting stuff figured out to start medically transitioning, it would be appreciated, but no pressure, no obligation. Literally like just watching the video, subscribing, engaging with the content, that's more than enough for me. I'm very happy with that. So if you want to, if you feel so inclined to throw some dollars my way, my Venmo and my PayPal are in the description below if you want to send a little tip my way. And that's gonna be a wrap on our first ever episode of Very Slay. I cannot wait to make more of these. Once Drag Race season is over, I might go back and do some reviews of other things, and I hope y'all will want to come join us for the ride and tag along and see wherever this journey takes us. So until next time, stay kind, stay queer, and I hope you all go out there and make sure your day is very slay.